We're on camera.
Yay!
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
But we also need to remember that we're also on audio. So we
yes.
can't isolate the audio listeners. But welcome.
Can't isolate the audio listeners.
We can't isolate the audio listeners. Welcome to the Hit the Wall Christmas Special!
Yay!
Woo-hoo!
Cheese fest.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Baby Guinness to start us off.
Absolutely.
I mean, say start us off. Ah, that was a poorly poured one. Is yours curdled?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a terrible Baby Guinness.
It was like,
Whew.
it had bits in it. How was that?
It's obviously just been sitting, because it's been sitting for like 15 minutes.
Ah.
So, but we're meant to start recording at like 8:30. It's now 10:10. We've had a couple of drinks. I feel alright. Feel a wee bit.
Oh, not bad for you.
Aye.
I've had one drink, but too busy concerning myself with the crying children that we've got.
Yeah, so we were meant to start recording a wee bit earlier, but then the children started crying, and then things started to not work, and then the cameras were being annoying.
Is it squint?
Yes, it's squint. I'm just going to fix it on here.
Yeah, because
Yeah, sorry about that.
the whole day has been a disaster zone today.
It has been a disaster, but
oh god. Today started out like it was supposed to be really busy getting organised for Christmas Day, and the kids are both not well. There was vomiting, there's been crying.
it's one of those things.
Kids as well.
Yeah. It's one of those things though that like, I don't know what happens to you. I think it happens to you sometimes as well, where if something big is coming up.
Yeah. It used to happen to me all the time as a child. Like, I always got not well when it was my birthday or Christmas, because the overexcitement just got to me.
Yeah.
And I always got not well, and then it stopped happening for years. For I was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And it stopped happening. And then when my mum told me she was pregnant with my little brother, I got ill for a week.
Yeah.
Like, proper, like, lying on the couch ill, and I was supposed to go to Brownies like a couple of days after she told me, and she was probably still at the stage where she wasn't telling people, but I was 10, so I didn't care. And I couldn't wait to tell the whole world, and I really wanted to go to Brownies so I could tell everybody, and I was literally like lying on the couch at high temperature, like, and it just totally like floored me. So yeah.
It's a bit rubbish, and
have the same trait.
I mean, talk about that. I was the same on our wedding day. I was absolutely, you didn't know this until I told you before we started recording that I was ill.
I probably did know it, I just didn't remember it.
It was the hottest, so it was June 2017 when we got married, and it was the hottest day of the year.
It was so warm, I got so lucky.
And I was choked with a cold. It was so annoying. I had tissues packed in my sporran.
I didn't
just
know.
in case
maybe I did know.
Just in case I cried, but also in case my nose started dripping.
Just in case I cried.
Yeah. Oh!
Oh!
I was going to take a drink of my actual drink here, but because it's not just because it's a Christmas special, but also celebrating the fact that we have reached. Thank you to everybody for downloading the podcast.
What are you doing with that?
In the
Do it in
past
that
few
direction.
months.
There's been enough injuries today.
It's okay, it's fine. You don't trust me. It's
Not
not going to
really.
shake or anything. We have reached 1,000 downloads!
Yay! Woo! Oh, that worked out well.
Just Prosecco, because we're not quite there yet.
Also, I don't like champagne.
I don't like champagne
Prosecco's
either.
better. Whoa,
Prosecco
that's
is
terrible
much better.
pouring. Well, actually, while we've got this going on,
Uh-huh.
get me poured up first.
Yep.
Fun fact for all you fact fans: if your drink is overflowing, you can stick your finger in it, your baby finger, and it actually stops the bubbles.
It does, and it actually works.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't work with every drink. Doesn't work because I tried it. I tried that trick in Nando's when I
Yeah, it
had a
doesn't
drink
work
of
as well
cola.
with like juice for some reason. Must be more bubbles in Prosecco.
Yeah. So cheers.
Cheers.
To 1,000 downloads. Merry Christmas, and the phones went again. This is not going well.
The phone is drunk. Never mind us. I just looked up for all you people just listening. I just looked up and the phone was just like slowly sliding. That's so funny. Right, anyway, I do have an early Christmas present for you.
Oh, you have an early Christmas present. Oh, by the way, just before you do that,
Okay.
big shout out to Amanda. I don't know if you can see this. My Secret Santa at work got me a nice little sign for Secret Santa, so thank you very much for that. It's not the official. That's not like a new logo or anything like that, but it's very, very nice.
Basically, it's saying thanks, Amanda, but it's not the right logo. That's what that sounded like.
That's not what I said. I'm
Ungrateful.
And I actually think it looks really, really good. It looks really good on like the camera as well.
I would like to
The drop
apologise.
camera.
I would like to apologise to your work colleagues for you. Just for you.
For me? Why?
Because you sound a nightmare at work. You sound like you're really annoying.
In terms of?
Just everything you do. Everything you tell me about. All the things that you do to annoy people.
Well, it's not just me.
Oh,
it's
cheekiness.
my colleague as well. It's my other colleague.
It's not just you. It's that's so like, it is me, but it's also another boy.
Yeah.
Me and
It's
another
just-
boy did it.
It's
It
one of
wasn't
those.
just me.
we're one of those teams at work where everybody just gets on. Nobody gets like offended by anything that people say because we do chat a lot of bad stuff, and nobody sort of gets offended, and it's really nice. It's a nice team,
Good.
and probably get split up at some point. I'd imagine.
Debbie Downer over
I
here.
know.
Right, can I give you a present
Keep a very
now?
close eye on that on the phone. Yes.
Okay.
I'm always happy to get a
I
wee
don't
present.
usually let you open things early. Like, you've got a weird thing about it. You and your family are like, oh, just open presents whenever. Like, no.
Well,
not until the day.
I needed the microphone.
Not just that, just all the time. Birthdays and that, they don't bother. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've not got you anything, by the way.
no, I got you a present.
Okay.
It's okay. It's an early present, it's a surprise.
It's not a microphone. That's amazing. It's totally not in my bedroom. Our bedroom.
Is it?
It's a plaque.
It's like,
It says,
for those that are listening, remember the people are listening.
oh yeah, it's like a platinum
Yeah, you know, like when people get like,
vinyl thing.
yeah, gifted.
That's
like,
amazing.
When bands reach albums,
Oh,
like a
thanks for
vinyl
that.
album.
That's bump. That is so cool.
So it says, read it.
It says 1,000 downloads achieved Friday the 16th of December 2023. And it's got the Newcastle Brown Ale logo on it.
Well, you weren't getting gold or platinum because you're not gold or platinum yet. Then they
That's
came what 1,000 was.
That's alright. Right, hang on.
You're right there.
And speak again. We're having so many problems. So many problems. But we're just going to power through.
Oh, I mean, if yous aren't bored of this, I am.
It wouldn't be an episode of Hit the Ball if there was no problems. So, this is our Christmas special. So we thought we'd do some Christmas chat. We're definitely not doing running chat today because I haven't ran in over a week.
No, I was actually thinking that today.
Well,
I'm gonna run.
we do this thing. Oh, look at that.
I don't want to look at it.
Yeah. We do this thing every year called Fuck It Fortnight, which is 2 weeks in the year, at the end of the year, at the Christmas period, where we don't do anything. I don't do anything healthy.
You don't eat anything healthy.
Don't eat anything healthy. Well, today, for example, and that was night shift last night, and I woke up. I had like 2.5 hours sleep. I woke up, didn't have anything to eat at all. Went out, had to do some errands and stuff. Last minute shopping in supermarkets, which was a terrible idea.
Just on that note, I did not recommend that. You insisted that you were going to get bits and bobs for the shop, even though I was ordering a massive order, and I said I could buy you anything for the order. No, I'll get my own stuff. And then the first thing you do when you get to the shop is text me to complain about how long the queue is to get into the shop.
Yep.
Told you.
And I also want to complain about people who, in busy car parks at Christmas. Can you hear that?
No.
It's like a beating sound. And we're back.
You also want to complain about what?
People parking in busy car parks that they can't park. Like people taking over 2 spaces in a very busy car park. Especially at Christmas time. Fucking stop it. It's so annoying. That's all about that's one of my irks. I know we're meant to be festive and
One of
jolly.
my Christmas irks.
Yeah, Christmas irk. So yeah, fuck it fortnight, having a few drinks, and I'll start running again between Christmas and New Year, I think. It's probably the best time to do it again.
Oh.
and then I'll start proper in the new year. And that's all the running.
You've got to hit it hard in the new year because you're doing a marathon in 5 months.
Exactly.
We're just pretending that's not happening right now.
What, the marathon? Absolutely not. No. So I want to talk about Christmas and your favourite Christmas, or your first Christmas memory. Can you remember your first Christmas? Oh, not your first Christmas, as in like when you were 1 or 6 months.
I find memories really hard because I don't know if I remember them because I remember them,
right,
or because I've seen videos and stuff, or
right,
pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think I do remember this genuinely. I was maybe about 4. I was at my grandparents'. We used to stay at my grandparents' on Christmas Eve when I was really little, and I specifically remember me and my granddad both getting the same kind of dark red coloured knitted jumper. Like we both had the same colour, and I was like over the moon with the fact that we had the same one.
Nice.
And I can remember like the couch being like a really old, I think it was like, I want to say it was like grey with like pink swirls, or some sort of ancient 90s couch. Wooden not beams, what are they called? Like wooden wall panelling. Before, not like the cool wall panelling that we have now, which we'll probably look back on in 30 years and say,
our living room
awful.
Our living room when I was growing up, it was green carpet and like a salmon couch.
Nice.
And then we had our wallpaper, it was like
salmon. That's just one of the colours.
The top half of the wall was wallpapered like cream, and then it was like a green and burgundy sort of border, and then it was like green and burgundy stripes in the bottom half.
So bad.
It looked awful. I remember actually watching a sitcom randomly. I think it might have been, oh my god, this is a weird memory that I've just forgot about. It was like on a sitcom, I think it might have been like My Family or something random, and they had the exact same wallpaper. I was like, oh my god, somebody else has put that exact same combination and they put it on TV. Maybe that's where my mum and I got the idea.
Maybe it was. I had some terrible deco by then.
Yeah.
My mum's favourite couch ever that we had since I don't know how young I was when we got it, but I definitely had it up till we were like primary 2, primary 3, so that would have been like 98 I started school, so I like 98, 99, early 2000. It was a green and white, green and cream stripy couch, which I'm actually really surprised that my stepdad allowed, but he didn't live with us then. It was just.
I think Jeff just does what he's told anyway.
It does. But it was green and green, and my mum absolutely swears by this couch, and I think it's probably part of the fact that it was green and white and it probably annoyed Jeff that she actually stuck with it. But she always goes on about how that was her favourite couch ever. Yeah. And it's really like sticks in my head.
When did they have? Sorry, this is not interesting to any of you, but when did they have the sort of lime green one that we had in our first flat? Well, it wasn't lime green. It was like a.
Oh, that was. They go through couches like pants, pairs of pants, hot dinners.
Yeah.
So the green one was there for a while. I don't know, but it wasn't lime green.
No, it was like
a
dark
forest green.
Aye. So when was it? So your first, what age were you then? Your first Christmas memory?
I think about 4. That Christmas jumper thing, and it is funny when I think back on Christmases because I don't really remember a lot of presents that I got. Like really, there's nothing like really specific. I got a doll's house that I absolutely loved and I played with for years. It was huge. Yeah. But again, I don't remember really getting it that day. I just remember like loving it. And then I had it for years, and then my little brother came along 11 years later. So he was a lot younger than me. So when I was a teenager, we still had the doll house, like had like a converted room, like a playroom type thing, and the doll's house was in it. And one day I came. So this was just a wooden doll's house, plain wooden walls, wooden everything. Yeah. But I had all the furniture. I used to play with it all the time. Came home from school one day as a teenager to my mum and 5-year-old brother decorating the doll's house, making carpets for it, wallpaper for it, and I was absolutely fuming. I was like, I've got this for years. Aye. I've not got a carpet. No, I was fine when I'm playing with it, but the fact, like the dedication that went into it, I was like, hold on a minute here.
And you wanted to, did you want to particularly decorate it?
That never really crossed my mind, I suppose, till he was doing it. And then I was like, hold on.
Maybe he was doing it as a good thing to surprise you or something.
No, it's because he probably had Spider-Man wallpaper or something.
I think my first memory was, I'm sure I must have been about 3, possibly 4 as well. But I remember specifically middle of the night. Well, what I thought was the middle of the night because it was dark.
It's probably like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, probably like 9 o'clock in the morning, getting woken up by my mum saying, Stuart, we need to wake up, we need to go downstairs. And then I can just remember standing, because I remember pictures that my mum and dad took of me just sort of standing in the middle of the living room just looking at everything. Being like, what the fuck? I wasn't thinking that, but just being like, what the hell's all this? And then I think I've got a picture of me in my little Tykes car.
Oh.
I think that was my first memory. I'm sure it was 3, possibly 4.
That's cute. That must be, so that makes that feel, I feel pressure then, because our daughter's 4.
Yeah.
That this might be the first Christmas that she actually
But she's got such a mental memory though.
Yeah, now, but she doesn't have life to fill her head with.
I suppose.
Like, you know, her life is filled with just remembering random shit from 6 months ago.
Yeah. But she remembers like what car I had when she was born, or when she was like 1 or 2.
She's very good with cars. We were driving behind a car that's the same as yours the other day. She was like, I think we're following Daddy. And I was like, we're not.
Well, she's shit at registration plates anyway. Speaking of Christmas, what was your favourite ever gift that you received?
As I say, I don't really remember like specific gifts, which is probably really annoying for my parents. However, I do have a hilarious gift story which I would probably do as a parent, but it's terrible.
Right, okay.
It's terrible, but I can understand why a parent would do it. Like, so I was never really girly as a child. I loved dolls, but I never really liked Barbies or. The only girly thing I really liked was dolls, like baby dolls and buggies, stuff like that. But anyway, so this particular year I had asked for a Barbie car, and it was like a beetle, pink beetle.
Yeah.
And I think we had a beetle, not a pink one, but we had a beetle car at the time, so it was maybe just like that or whatever. I don't really remember it so much. I remember having the toy, but anyway, asked for this pink Barbie beetle. It was like the hot toy to get.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep checking my phone because. The wee one's not well, I'm just checking.
Sorry,
woke up.
is she woken up?
No, you're fine. So yeah, it was a hot toy, really difficult to get, probably well before, like, well, I had Toys R Us and stuff obviously, but like internet obviously wasn't as big as it is now,
Yeah.
whatever. So, I asked for this Barbie beetle. So my stepdad, well, my parents, searched high and low for it, couldn't find it in any of your major retailers, and my stepdad went to this independent little toy shop in Linlithgow.
Alright, oh, remember that toy shop? I
I
think.
think it's still there.
Is it?
I was in one not that long
I don't know
ago.
what it's called, but I do remember being in that at some point.
So he went there, and it's more Phil the toy shop owner, but he said, I'm here for the Barbie beetle, and the owner said, now my stepdad's surname is McGowan, the owner said something just for talking's sake, is it, oh that's fine, is it Hogg? Or is it Smith or whatever?
Yeah.
And he said, yes. So I woke up on Christmas morning over the moon with Santa for bringing me a Barbie beetle.
And some
poor child, some parent who's obviously done the same thing, searched high and low and reserved this toy in this little independent shop. And I'm sure that shop owner learned a lesson from that and has probably never ever done that again.
No.
But wow, I mean, I can see though why you would as a parent totally be like,
Merry Christmas,
I need to do this.
It's awful.
It's so bad. And if it was you, if you're out there and it was you that was looking for the Barbie beetle,
get in touch and
get
we'll
it.
buy you one. We won't.
I'm so sorry. Right, you know the thing is, it probably sat in the playroom, barely looked at.
Yeah, a similar thing, not in terms of like presents and stuff, but a similar thing happened to me the other day in the pharmacy when I went to pick up Riley's stuff. I walked in to the pharmacy, stood in the queue, and the lassie came from behind the back and she went, "Is it Riley?"
Oh yeah.
And I went, "Yes," because I was getting medicine for Riley. And then she handed me this tiny little bag of medicine. I was about to walk out the shop, and I first realised that this isn't the stuff because it's a big massive box of stuff that we need. And secondly, I was like, how did she know that I was in for Riley? And then I looked at it, and the surname was Riley. So that was just totally coincidental that I walked in at that same time. I could have just went. It might have been morphine or something. It might have been something decent.
Weird when stuff like that happens, eh?
Yeah.
So my friends were here today for their birthday, and they told us a really weird story. Right. So last year or last Christmas or whatever, they got given a voucher.
Yeah.
From their sister and brother-in-law, who are called Lauren and Elliot.
Yeah.
and they've not got around to using the voucher yet, so the voucher's been, it was a cinema ticket
Yeah.
or whatever, so it was in the drawer, waiting for a time when they could use it.
Yeah.
And then in the last few weeks, they lost the voucher.
Mm-hmm.
And they were aware that it wasn't there, but they didn't really like have got around to looking for it, and like it was somewhere that they would keep it. Like they're not really sure what happened to it, but you know, busy time of year, lots going on, whatever. My pal works in a school, so a person from her school, she works in a colleague, gave her a birthday gift. It was her birthday just yesterday. So the person from her school gave her a birthday gift, and it was just like a journal thing. It was wrapped up and gifted to her. And inside the parcel was a smaller envelope.
Right.
So, and the envelope fell out. So just say, I don't know what the person was called that gifted the birthday gift, but just say it was Margaret, right? For talking sake, right? So Margaret's given the gift. Inside this, she opened it up, it's a journal, and inside it there's a smaller envelope that folds out when she's opening the parcel.
Yeah.
Picks it up off the floor, and it's a View cinema ticket from Lauren and Elliot.
Right.
Who's the brother and sister and brother-in-law. So somehow, not only somehow has this voucher disappeared from wherever they keep it in their house, got into her stuff that she takes to work, and obviously then fallen out or got somehow caught up with stuff at work.
Yeah.
It has then got this Margaret person, whoever, has somehow either acquired it or accidentally doesn't even realise she's wrapped
Stole it.
And then what? Got guilt?
You're the arsehole.
You're the arsehole.
Margaret. Did she listen to this?
How weird is that though?
That is weird.
So they don't. She's now like, my pal was like, I don't know whether I should address this with Margaret. Like, why would you not just say, I found this, it's got your name on it.
Yeah.
Is it yours?
Yeah.
Why would you wrap it up and give it in a gift? Even though it doesn't have your name in it? Or has she not even realised and she's somehow...
I don't know.
How bizarre is that?
Depends on, she must have, unless she's one of these people who just buys presents all the time and just forgets.
Like aye.
Because you know how, like, with you especially with like kids and that, you
just like buy a little, like if you see something on offer, just buy it and you know that someone's birthday will come up and you'll just give it type thing. I don't know.
You ended up buying like two not mobile phones, but like two like toy mobile phones.
This
year somehow.
I know.
Maybe just been mixed up.
Very odd though, to get from her house to her work, and then into this random person's stuff, and then sent back to her as a gift.
That's weird.
Very weird. I don't really know how we got into that story, but there you go.
I got a gift once from I think it was when I was leaving Sky, my last job. I got a leaving gift from someone. I don't know if this person's going to listen, but I'm going to tell a story anyway.
Oh no.
I'm not going to name them, but I got a leaving gift, and it was a box of, it was like a miniature of Jack Daniels and a couple of shot glasses. And it was one of those like gift, just like a gift box. But on the gift box, there was a printed label on the back, and it just say, for example, it just said, "Dear Jack, Merry Christmas." From person that's not going to be named.
So it was a re-gift?
It was a re-gift.
Oh.
I didn't like Jack Daniels. But it was nice to get a gift.
That kind of brings you on to like, what's your worst Christmas gift? Although you've not told me your best yet. Did you have a best or?
I don't have. Also, I'll tell you my best gift.
Okay.
And then I can go into my worst gift. I can't even think of a worst gift, but I'll try and think of one. So the best gift that I ever got was, it's between two. Okay. Right. The first one is, and the kids will not know. The kids that listen to this will not know what this is. It's a Siemens C35. Do you know what that is?
No. Remember, I'm a kid compared to you.
It's a mobile phone. It was a mobile phone. Siemens were what? You making a Siemens joke?
No, I said cradle snatcher.
Right.
Sorry. It's all good.
The same. So Siemens C35. It was a mobile phone. My very first mobile phone that I got when I was like 11 or 12. I was in first year at school, so I was 12. Was a Siemens C25. So this was the upgrade.
Ooh.
And this one had, the screen was about that size compared to the screen being that size, right?
For those that are audio listeners?
I went from big to small. Story of my life. And it had
Was
a
it
game
cold
in it.
outside?
It had like
Sorry. Too much Prosecco
Too
and
much
delirium
Prosecco.
from this crazy day that I've had. Oh yeah, I'm topping up.
dropping up. So yeah, it was just basically an upgrade, but it had a game in it. It had like a maze game, and you just had to like press the numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8. Yeah. To move yourself between the mazes. It was shit because it was all this like black and white, and like green and black kind of screens. But it was the coolest phone that I'd ever seen, and I was desperate for it. And Christmas morning came, and I opened all my presents and I got everything else that I asked for, but I didn't get the Siemens C35 until my mum handed me a half-wrapped gift. Don't know what happened to it, Mum. Maybe you could enlighten us. It's like a half-wrapped gift, and I unwrapped it, and it was an unboxed Siemens C35.
That was like vintage
Second
vintage of the
hand.
day. You know what though, when you don't care, like you obviously that's your favourite gift ever, so that's why I buy things second hand all the time and vintage and all that. I think it's great. Like they don't care as long as it's like decent condition. But
exactly. But my best gift.
Well, that wasn't your best gift.
No, my best gift was my car.
Oh.
My very first car.
Fair.
Now, the car. Can I just say this just now? The car cost £300, right?
Even my first car was £900.
But I don't know if mum and dad listen to this. I don't know if my dad knows this, but my mum sort of scouted me out for the car months before Christmas. So she came up to me and she was like, "Your dad's looking," because I just passed my driving test that year, and I was driving my mum's Renault Clio, and I loved that wee car. And my mum came up to me and she says, "Right, your dad's looking at a car for you, and I just want to put the feelers out, just to let you know what he's looking at. He's looking at a Fiat Cinquecento."
For all you people out there that don't know what that is, it's the in-betweeners car. If you've ever seen the in-betweeners,
literally is the in-betweeners car, not like the
It's
new
not in yellow.
Curvair version. It was like a box. It was like a wee box, a carrier bag, but it was like a sporting version. It was blue.
You keep, every time you tell the story, you justify it by going, "But it was a sporting version."
It was. But when my mum first said the words Fiat Cinquecento, my heart sank because it was like,
No.
I didn't want to sound ungrateful.
I know it's hard.
Because must have put so much effort into looking for it and getting like a good price, and then
£300.
I was bargain. I mean, I wouldn't buy.
I mean, your dad worked for car dealerships. I think he could have done better. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
This is just twigging in your head.
think
Did
that.
he not work for Jaguar at one point?
Cheapskate.
The reality is just sinking in about your second-hand phone and your Fiat Cinquecento.
This is going to make Christmas dinner quite awkward. So
Funny.
my mum told me about that, and I was a bit like, oh god, Fiat Cinquecento, and it couldn't really. It was the early days of the internet, so I was like looking up pictures of it, but it wasn't quite the same.
On Google.
It took like 5 days to get a picture of it, and
AOL dial-up.
I was dreading it. I was dreading Christmas Day. I was dreading what I was going to see, and I kind of put it to the back of my mind a little bit. And then my last present that they gave me was like that shaped, which again for audio listeners, like a rectangular shape, like a number plate shape. And I opened it, and it was number plates, and it was R43 DSC, maybe R433 DSC, I think it was. And
What does that mean?
it was an R-Reg car.
Oh, right, okay.
So
I was
quite
like,
old,
okay.
quite old old car. And I was like, oh, what's this? And then my dad, I just remember my dad just looking so pleased with himself, like saying, "Oh, what's it in the garage?" And then I went out and I seen it, I laid my eyes on it, and I loved it. Fell in love straight away. I was like, oh my god, because it's so shiny and it's blue and it's got wee orange inserts and stuff.
In recent years come out of needing to have a blue car all the time. You've matured from that now.
Aye, but I still want to go back to a blue car because I'm kind of getting sick. I want to get like, my next car that I get. I want to go back to blue because it's like my identity.
It's my identity. Fair enough. But you loved it.
Absolutely loved it. However, I did have some awkward moments in it. First of all,
I don't want to know.
First of all, No, I didn't.
I don't want to know.
That was the next car.
Brilliant.
The Christmas morning.
Still wasn't a me.
No, definitely would have been you. 17 you would have been.
Settle.
Yeah.
Let's just have a drink.
Feeling loose. So Christmas morning, and we took the car out for a drive, and obviously I'd been driving my mum's Clio, which was quite a modern car, and this, because it's so small, the pedals were so close together, and I just remember accelerating up to the top of the hill, because we lived on like a incline, and I got to the top of the hill, and I tried to find the brake, couldn't find the brake, and I just kept going straight, because it's like a T-junction at the top.
Ooh.
And I went straight into the neighbour's driveway.
Oops.
Nothing, didn't damage anything, and eventually found the
there wasn't a
brake.
car in the driveway.
Yeah.
Eventually found the brake.
And then, again, if any of my mates listen to this, they'll appreciate this story. Last day of school, 6th year. It's like last day, obviously you're kind of mucking about and stuff, but I was a bit of a wee swat. I mean, I was shit at school. I didn't get any grades or anything like that. But the last day of school, I went to a couple of my classes. And I went to English. I think it was the second last class of the day, and the deputy head teacher came in and said, "Stuart, you need to go to your car. It's been lifted." I was like, "Oh God." But I parked in the school car park. How can it get lifted? Maybe I've not paid my road tax, or maybe it's not insured or anything like that. I was like, "What do you mean lifted?" And he went, "It's been lifted." So I went out to the car park, and it was right. It had been lifted. My mates had lifted it because it was so light. They picked it up and moved it in the middle of the road.
Like the Barbie Beetle, as light as that.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's funny.
But still, honestly, love that car so much. I was so gutted to see it go. Sold it for 600 though.
Oh, did you give the extra 300 back to your mum and dad to make up for it?
No, silly. I put it towards my new
I
car.
hope they're not asking for it now.
No chance. Maybe after this chat, actually.
I know we might need to owe them some.
Right.
Yeah, I think my favourite present ever was probably my bike. I got a black and red bike when I was about 8 of my grandparents, and it was like, I remember really specifically getting it and like it being in the hall, and it was a black and red suspension bike. Like the age where you're like, this is so cool that I've got a suspension bike. Bounce a bit. I just loved my bike. And I had that bike for years, and I was actually gutted when it was too big. Like that was probably the last bike that I properly had, like as a kid, before I got like too old to like really be going about on a bike all the time. And I just loved it. I had it for years, and then like I remember like when it started to get too wee for it, and like knees were coming up to my ears when I was riding it, and I was gutted.
Did you ever cycle with no arms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to put a squash bottle in the back of my.
Oh, that's risky.
No, like a plastic bottle, like an iron brew bottle or whatever. Squash it.
Oh, right.
Put it in the back because I had like mud guards and that on it, and
yeah.
And I would put it in the back and it would go. It was like cool in it.
It's like a shit boy racer.
Girl racer.
Super not.
I had mud guards that said muck off because that was with a quad bike at one point. That was a pretty cool present as well, actually.
What was it?
A quad bike.
Yeah, you had a quad bike?
We had a quad bike, yeah, at one point.
As in, was that a present to you?
It was a Christmas present for us, for me and my brothers.
I didn't know that.
It was small. It was a 90cc thing. It was small.
Oh, right, so it wasn't like a proper, like, you can go
No, it was a proper bike. Yeah, we used to go up the bing, and we used to go up the bings and like go around, and it was proper. What?
You weren't a real lassie, were you?
No, definitely not. I loved the quad bike. The only bit about it, I always remember going along the bank, because you would have to go along the cycle path. I think it was at Blackridge. Go along the cycle path, and then there was like, to get down into the bing, it was like a really steep angle, and I always freaked out. Like I wasn't brave enough for that. I always made my stepdad take the bike down, and then once it was down, like we'd go round. But the stuff to clean the quad bike was called muck off, and I used to think that was funny. Like,
yeah, that's the such a fair memory.
Aye, well, because you're like that age where it's like you're not allowed to say that bad word, but you can have like mud guards that say muck off like that, and so I had that on my bike as well, and it was bright pink, the muck off, to clean it. So the quad bike was pretty cool as well.
That's a pretty good present. Probably say that was.
My parents were really good at Christmas. There was always, like you say, like with the surprise present. Like you always got everything, and then you think that was it, and then they would go like, oh, go make us a cup of tea. So you go through the kitchen and there'd be something there, or like they'd be sitting in the garden, or like there and yeah.
The bike's is a classic one, isn't it?
Bike. I had a drum set once as well through the kitchen. Well, like in the kitchen room that they had.
Got a Sega Mega Drive one year.
Nice.
A Sega Mega Drive? No, a Sega Master System. I think that was the one before the Mega Drive. For all you 90s fans.
Talking about not being a proper girl, my other big present, like not big present, but other thing that I always remember getting is a pair of maroon. I don't know why I liked them so much because they were maroon, but coloured Total 90 AstroTurf.
Nice.
Really wasn't
maroon and white?
They were maroon with just like the white 90
the white
logo.
90s logo, yeah.
Total
and
90 was
it
like,
was
the thing.
the back of it was white, like it was like a swoosh or something.
I think it was a circle with 90 written on it.
Aye, I know,
They
but
were,
then
like,
it was also
black.
I can picture them.
Yeah, and I think my dad got me them actually, and I can remember being like really chuffed.
Yeah. What was your
like,
worst? So what was your worst present then?
My worst present probably came as an adult, and again I still don't know who it was that got me it. It wasn't you, right?
Okay, good.
It was a Secret Santa at work.
It was
a Secret Santa, and I've had some amazing Secret Santas. I've actually got my work Secret Santa present here just now, so
yes.
but I still live up to if it's you. It was a Secret Santa I got at work. And it was in this huge big, like, you know, like one of those big massive gift bags that's like quite tall.
Yeah.
So I was like pure buzzing and everyone was talking about it. Like, oh, it's going to be so good. Like, what is that? Like, you've got such a big bag and what can it be? And I mean, I feel bad in case it was somebody that's listening, but like...
It's like a Rubik's Cube or something.
It was presents for my rabbit.
What?
It was hay. Like a toy
Murdo,
ball thing.
I take it.
One of the rabbits that we had, Dylan or Murdo it must have been. It was like a toy ball thing, and hay, and like carrot sticks or some other random shit that rabbits eat.
I mean, what they've done is they've went too far with the joke. So
I don't know if it's maybe someone that I didn't know very well, and like I don't know, but I was like, there wasn't even like another thing, like a bottle of drink or like something like for me.
If they'd made the comically big bag and then put like a decent present in it, that would have been fine. Or even if they'd made it like not a massive bag and just like actual gifts, and then it would have been the rabbit stuff. That might have been
still random. Yeah, I think the hype of it, like everyone was like buzzing, and I was just like.
They've went too far into the laugh there, I think.
It was odd. Very odd.
I bet Dylan or Murdo enjoyed them.
Probably did, aye.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really have like, I don't really remember anything as a child thinking like, I don't know, like I was always brought up like you don't say that you don't like something in front of people, so I never ever like...
That's why I'm genuinely struggling to remember like a bad present. I remember one time I just getting like a plain white, I can't remember who it was from. It wasn't from like my parents or it wasn't from you or anything like that, but just it was a plain white Fruit of the Loom t-shirt and socks from, again, Fruit of the Loom socks.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're definitely not...
Probably practical. Everyone needs a white t-shirt.
Yeah, we're definitely... I find I know.
He has an issue with how many white t-shirts I have. I don't actually have that many now. I have like 2.
Every single wash, there's like 10 white t-shirts in
right,
yours.
This was back...
And they're all inside out.
Right, that's another day.
This is back
when we wore white t-shirts under shirts at work. We had to wear white t-shirts and then our shirt on top.
Oh, sorry, I'm taking my Santa hat off.
So I did have loads of white t-shirts because they were for underneath my uniform, which we now don't have to wear. So there's less white t-shirts going on.
But you still like a white t-shirt?
Well, a white t-shirt's very practical.
Basket.
But nah, I don't think there's anything like particularly... I've got a really vivid memory of like my mum's neighbour when I was about 5 or 6 giving me sweeties. Like it wasn't for anything, I think it was just like it just popped in or whatever and they gave us like sweeties, and I don't remember what they were, but I think they were like licorice all sorts or something like that kids don't like. And I didn't say it like I was just, as they said, thank you. Yeah. And it's so like a clear memory in my head of like when he left, my mum saying like, well done for not saying you don't like them.
Yeah.
And it's like since then like always stuck in my head, like
yeah.
She probably reinforced that 1,000,000 times, but that particular moment is what I remember.
Yeah.
And so there's never anything that I've ever went.
Licorice is such a weird thing, isn't it?
My granddad loves it, but then I don't think he does now because everyone buys it every year.
It's no sweet, is it? It's like a...
My granddad used to get the licorice all sorts, and I didn't mind the wee round ones, the blue and pink ones with like wobbly bits over it.
Because they never tasted of licorice.
Nah, they were just like sweeties.
Aye.
But the rest is weird. It's a weird texture. No,
the fact that it's black as well. It's it's not a colour that a sweet should be. As soon as I see a black sweet, like a humbug or something.
One of my mates at work, she had a sore throat the other day, and she took, what wasn't a fisherman's friend, it was I can't even remember what it was called. Some sweetie, some throat sweetie, like hardcore thing, and I always thought she was going to throw up on the desk.
Aye.
She just put her mouth and just like
I might need to get fisherman's friends for tomorrow actually. I'm doing a gig tomorrow and it's good for like clearing your throat and stuff.
You're doing a singing gig tomorrow in a care home, which is lovely. It's very humbling and nice and Christmassy.
I'm doing a singing gig in the poshest care home in the world.
Don't get your hopes up, we can't afford that shit.
It's like a actual hotel. It's
like
so
a
nice.
village, you said, eh? Is it
It's like a aye.
North
But
Care
it's
Meadows.
it's like you're
Is
walking.
it North View Meadows? North Care?
North Care something. Shout
Embra.
out.
It's an Embra.
It's in Embra, yeah, and it's very nice. However, apparently the lift, I've heard that the lift broke the other day with lots of people in it, so that'll be interesting.
I am terrified of lifts, and the lift at our work was broken recently, and then after it got fixed, the security guard said, "I'm never going in that lift, have you heard it?" And I kind of like forgot about that comment and went in it, and I swear to God it was like clunk, 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 and I was like, I would be the guy having a panic attack. Like
it's always funny seeing your face, because we were at Crieff Hydro as well the last week for the Santa thing, and we went into the lift. Well, sorry, we walked past the lifts, and one of them said out of order, and then as we were coming back the way,
it was fine.
The lift that was out of order was now fixed, and the other one that was next to it was that somebody else was getting in it, so we had to get into the one that had just been fixed. And your face was so funny. Yeah,
that happened to me on holiday. So when I was about 9 or 10, we went to Bulgaria. We were in this hotel that was like really like big, 9 or 10 floors, and we were quite high up. And I was insistent. I was walking the floors every day, like regardless. But eventually I started getting confident in the lift. It had a glass lift. I don't mind a glass one. It's the big metal ones, especially in like car parks and dodgy places. Like, but this hotel it had metal ones and a glass one. So I got more confident, and we were there for 2 weeks. So like got really confident. And I really felt like I was getting over my fear of lifts. And honest to God, I swear not, on the last day or the second last day of holiday, they all broke. Like I wasn't in them when they broke, but they were all out of order, and it just like straight back to square one. Hated it. But I feel like because I have kids and I have buggies all the time now, I'm fine. Like I'm a lot better. I have to, and I don't want them to see that I'm scared. But even as a kid, I remember like going to Dynamic Earth, and they've got the time machine in inverted commas.
That's so cool.
It's not. I remember being there with my mate.
Dynamic Earth time machine is cool.
I was there with my pal, Shannon, who's our childhood friend, her dad and my dad, and we were in this lift, and I was freaking out. I was like 5 or 6, and my dad's going, "It's a time machine, it's a time machine." I was like, "It's not a time machine." Shut up.
It's a time machine.
It's a lift.
It's a time machine.
It's terrifying.
I took Riley to that when she was 2. I was so excited about taking her to Dynamic Earth, and she sprinted through that whole experience.
Maybe we should try again now.
I think
more into it now.
Definitely. We were done within 20 minutes. So sad.
That's fine. I like Dynamic Earth except the lift at the start, which is unfortunate. You don't like.
You have the option to take stairs if you're.
Well, nobody told me this.
I think there's stairs anyway.
You don't like Deep Sea World, so that's fine. I can do Deep Sea World. You can do Dynamic Earth. We're all good.
We're all good, because I hate fish. And you hate camels.
I hate camels, yeah.
Imagine a camel in a lift.
I had a traumatic experience with a camel.
In what way? Just...
What was to do with its hump? It's true, I was about 7 and we were in Gran Canaria on holiday, and my parents, my auntie and uncle, my cousin, everyone thought it was a great idea, let's all go camel trekking. And they were on seats, so like, if you can picture it, it was like 2 seats balanced over the hump of the camel, so we were on each side. And if they'd let me sit on one of those seats, I think it would have been absolutely fine. But they put the kids on the hump of the camel. So it's like
That doesn't look stable.
It wasn't. That's why I was scared.
Yeah. I can kind of see why you.
So it was like 2 seats and then like a sort of saddle type thing, and then so the camels. No, because it was on top of it. How could it spell me? So the camels were on their like they were like lying down almost. They're on their like hands and knees, whatever camels have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you
They're
mean.
hunkered in.
They're on their
So
knees.
you're quite low to the
knees.
ground, like even though you're on a hump, but it's still pretty scary.
Aye.
And then they stand up, and when you're 7, you feel like you're about 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And then there's this professional photographer coming round, and we've got this photo, it's classic, of my parents on either side. Me, I've got this green t-shirt on, I can see the photo as clear as day in my head. And I've got that like smile, but the tears in my eyes, like smile for the camera. I'm crying, like, yeah, 100%. So I was like, get me off this, I am not climbing over mountains on this camel, like it's not happening. So
That's a sentence you never you'd have to say as a child. I'm not climbing over this
isn't
mountain.
it? Let me sit on one of those seats or get me off of this. I'm not really into horses either, like, so I think it's just the instability like thing.
Mm.
So anyway, what my parents did is they, and now when I think about it, this is even worse. They let me go with a random lady. I mean, she was the organiser, and she was English. Like it was in like Spain or Gran Canaria, but she was English. In her truck with her dog across this mountain, and they went camel trekking, and I went in her truck with her little Jack Russell, and we drove to like where the camels were going to be, like at the end. So it was like
never do that these
never,
days.
never. This was before the
Going
big.
in a random stranger's truck.
This is before like
To
the
go and
whole
look at camels.
obviously McCann situation, but yeah. So we drove across the mountains, and they trekked across the mountains, and there was like a barbecue at the end of the trek, and I went in the truck with the woman.
So
You would never imagine. You would not relax now as a parent. You're like, oh, my
Absolutely
kid's away in a
not.
random truck up a mountain.
Nah. If it was like over there, aye, that's fine. Getting
I could
the
see the
random
truck.
one's truck, aye.
Or
But
you'd
over
go
a
with
mountain.
them. You would just have to like. I mean, that was not a good
No.
decision.
No.
I've lived to tell the tale. We're all good.
Was that with your mum and Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your mum.
It was with my mum, my stepdad's sister and brother-in-law, my big cousin and his mate. Well, sister, brother-in-law, little cousin. No, Samar, their kid, and then my big cousin and his mate.
But your mum kind of has
There was
history.
lots of adults there.
Your mum kind of has history, just literally looking after you. Your broken arm story.
So now we owe your mum and dad an apology, and now we owe mine.
It's fine.
So-
You may as well just burn the whole fucking world down tonight.
My mum has, every year for Christmas Eve, booked us Christmas panel tickets, right? I'm going to talk about this because it's like, we're raging. Me and my brother
We're
are.
coming for you.
No, right, but she knows. So every single year since I was about 3, we've gone to the panel on Christmas Eve. Every year.
At the
Without
Kings
fail.
in Glasgow.
At the Kings in Glasgow, it is like Gerard Kelly, all that, right?
GBN.
Amazing.
Whenever.
Highlight of my year. Sat in the stalls every single year of my life. Apart from the time I had COVID. And I didn't get to go.
Yeah, but
right?
you did not miss that panel.
Doesn't matter. That wasn't the Kings actually, it was meant somebody else.
It
I
was
think, didn't it?
the Armadillo. And it
Doesn't
was Guy Tank Commander as well. And
Right,
it should
that's
have been
not
so
the
good.
story we're telling.
Sorry.
The story that we're telling is what's happened this year.
Sorry.
So my mum's booked the tickets. And to be fair, the family has grown significantly with the kids, the husbands and girlfriends and everything else that's going on like with everyone. So we now end up with 8 of us. It went from 4 to 8. So I get it, it's difficult to get tickets for everybody.
Yeah.
But she's on the ball, it's usually January.
Mm-hmm.
She books it for Christmas Eve
Yeah.
next year, it's all good. So innocently as you like, she sends me,
This is so petty.
it's not petty, right? It makes me sound like a snob, and I'm not a snob, I do not, like, but honestly. So anyway, she goes on about like who's getting the drinks in and order and all that, right? So she sends it to the family group chat. Me and my little brother are like, right, so she sends me the link for the tickets. And this is the first time I've set eyes on them. Usually I don't even set eyes on them until we're there on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sends me the link for the tickets so I can book the drinks and all that. And I see it says upper circle. Now, this is going to make me sound like a total theatre snob, right? I know. I promise I'm not, but with this I bet I am.
Yeah.
So we've always sat in the stalls. I'm 30. 25 years we've been sitting in the stalls.
Yeah.
What on earth has possessed her about the upper circle? This is not the middle floor of the theatre. This is the top floor of
So is
the
it the
theatre.
actual?
It's the top. It's the ceiling. It's bloody like we'll see Santa and his reindeer.
We'll be up with Jesus and his dad.
So I was like, so she sends this link thinking we're going to book drinks and all that, and I just type back, upper fucking circle, and my brother's like, what? That's us, like we're on a rampage. We're raging.
Absolutely raging we are.
She's like, oh.
I mean, I don't mind. I'm just happy to be going. Spending time with family.
Alright, let's stop sucking up to the in-laws now. Idiot. Upper circle.
Thank you for
Come
paying for
on.
dinner.
So there's been a lot of chat about it. There's been a lot of chat about like, I mean, she better pay for the binoculars. I'm looking on. I'll have to go up there.
In the King's, I don't think there's a bad seat in the King's.
Have you sat in the upper circle?
Where about in the upper circle is it? Is it
I
like?
don't even care.
Okay.
It's facts are irrelevant about where it is.
So if anybody is going to the King's Theatre Panel on Christmas Eve and has one
Stalls
ticket for the
tickets.
stalls,
Yes, I'm there.
send it to
I'm
me
gonna
because
stand
I'm
there.
not sitting there.
Here, I might stand at the gate and see if anyone wants to swap me for that upper circle.
Aye, just try and pawn off your.
I do say, my mum was like, I didn't think I raised children that were ungrateful little shits, and I was like, well, with this you have.
Aye. You're very into that. That was never me in Christmas Eve. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I think I went to my auntie's some Christmas Eves. I'm assuming it's when my mum and dad got sorted for sort of Christmas morning and stuff. But it was always just like in the house, and we would just, I don't know, we would just do Christmassy things in our house.
It's unfathomable to me. See when people are like, oh,
Nice
I didn't
and
have plans for Christmas Eve.
A nice relaxing day before the busyness of Christmas Day.
Nah. It's wrong. It's not right.
No.
But you like it now?
I like it now. Yeah.
Good.
Glasgow's, Edinburgh's just there.
Edinburgh's shit. We've been to that before. There's no atmosphere.
Again, not being ungrateful.
But, nah, because the audience in Edinburgh are more reserved. They're not as like, let's all bring down the clit.
That's true.
I love about bring down the clit.
Hiya, gang! Hello. That's what
Like
Edinburgh
very
would be like. And the Ouija's properly go for it.
Yeah, and it's Elaine C. Smith. What's not to love? From Gerard Kelly. You never got to see a Gerard Kelly panel, but he was the best.
I must have seen one at one point in my life before you.
Before
BA.
BA.
But I can't. Yeah, I must have done because he is a bit of a legend.
He was amazing.
Elaine C. Smith. Is it Johnny Mack now? It's the.
Yeah, Johnny Mack has done good, but he's.
Did Des Clark not do it at one point as well?
Yeah, they've settled on Johnny Mack now. I think there was a few
Yeah.
like different people, but and they've done good. But it's getting the balance between doing what Gerard Kelly done, but not doing what Gerard Kelly done. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
and I want it generally like the first one after Gerard Kelly died was like so sad. Just like the same. And the guy whoever I don't remember who it was, but he did a really good job of like getting the balance. But
Yeah.
tricky art to follow. He was the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad I said that. That's what I said in the group chat. I was like, I'm not even caring if Gerard Kelly's back to life because I'm that far away from the stage. I'll not be able to see who's playing buttons.
You'll be sitting up there with him. You'll be watching.
Pretty much, yeah. Me and Gerard Kelly watching the
back
panel
row.
together. Fuming, mate. Upper circle.
Ah.
Sort of look, Kenny.
Are you quite done?
Sorry.
It's alright. It's alright.
Don't want people to think I'm a total like snob. I don't care. Like any other time, I didn't care about sitting in the upper circle, but it's a Christmas Eve panel. Sort of life it.
Yeah. Do you want to speak about anything else?
Don't speak about
Done
it.
45 minutes. 46 minutes.
Ages.
I mean, I can't really.
Oh, we need to do the thing about what you would do if someone annoyed you.
Oh, right, okay, right. So we'll do a couple of things and then we'll end because, yeah, I totally forgot about this. So this was, I'm stealing ideas from other podcasts at the minute until we find out original ideas for our own. But one of the things on a podcast that I listen to quite regularly was if you could put a curse on. Are you putting me another one, yes?
Yes.
Thank you. If you could put a curse on someone, that would mildly inconvenience them for the rest of their life, what would it be?
That's a good question. I like this question.
So do you want to go first with yours? Or in fact, will I go first with mine actually?
You go first.
Because mine is more geared to you and people. It's a bit stingy.
Yeah, you said mine. You said yours was me specific, which I think is quite rude.
Yeah, but there are other people out there as well.
Yeah,
I would.
in the world, yes. Only 7 billion.
I would mix up your day of the week socks.
Oh.
So every single time, because you, admittedly, you must admit you're quite anal when it comes to days of the week socks.
I am, right. Because
you have to wear days of the week socks on the day of the week.
Because what if I got hit by a bus, right, on a Tuesday, and I was wearing Thursday socks, and an ambulance came, and they had to cut off my shoes or trousers or whatever, right, because to get to my injuries, and I had Thursday socks on. How embarrassing would that be?
Alright, I thought you were going to say, like, what would the ambulance service do? What would the ambulance people be able to do with that? I was like,
well, they would be like, this is why she's been hit by a bus, because she's wearing the wrong day
socks. It's funny that doesn't care what day it is.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's fair.
I would totally do that to you, and other people who take it as anally as you.
Yeah, and I really, like, Riley had socks for a while that were days of the week socks. Yeah, don't say that.
Genuinely didn't mean that, but keep it in. Merry Christmas.
Riley had days of the week socks for a while that were like really, it was like, I don't know, fancy writing on it. You could barely actually see what it said, and it used to upset me. Go and
start that sentence again. Sorry.
Riley had days of the week socks that had like, the writing was really illegible. Like it was like really fancy.
She still has them, I think. She still has some of them, but I've mixed them up. So
that's really weird though. That we genuinely didn't discuss this before. Like what? We discussed like think of something, but we didn't discuss what our answers would be.
No.
Mine is also sock related, which is really weird.
You know why I know that?
Because I was doing the washing.
Because you were doing the washing and then you said, "Oh, I found something. I remember something."
Yeah.
Okay, so what's yours then?
So I hate having a hole in my socks, like at my toes. I don't mind so much at my heels. But see if you're just going about your day and you've got a hole in your toes, at your socks and your toes, it really annoys me all day, especially if I'm like at work or I've got them somewhere where I can't change socks.
Yeah, because you can just feel it. You can feel the difference.
Yeah, you can feel it. Yeah. It's so like, it's one of the things that's like, you're so aware of it all day, you can't do anything about it, and you can't really tell folk, like, you don't care.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. If somebody annoyed me enough, I would just make them have a hole in their sock at their toe every day.
But
not like in their house, not like the socks that you put on in the morning. Like, wait till you're like halfway through your day and then like, hole in your sock.
Somebody likes to piss you off and just be like, hole.
Yeah.
Straight
it's like a really minor thing,
hole.
a like really minor irritant.
Yeah.
And if you had that all the time, you'd be so annoyed.
Things like you just came up with an example yesterday, just like making people get stopped at every single red light.
Yeah, every single time. How annoying.
I would just stop driving. I would just give up driving.
Stay at the end of South Africa and just keep going.
Yeah.
They don't stop at red light.
If you have any suggestions on little things like that you would, if you were to put a curse on somebody, just to cause them a mild inconvenience for the rest of their lives, what would it be?
That's a good question.
Comment on the we said different podcast here. The Hit the Wall podcast Instagram page at Hit the Wall Pod, or you can email us at thewallpod@gmail.com. I forgot that we're doing a podcast and we're just.
You almost said have a word. That's your like top podcast.
Also check out Have a Word. It's a very good podcast.
Riley was pretending that we were all different people today, so that she was going like to me, "You're daddy," and I was like, "I'm not daddy." and then I was pretending to be daddy, and I was like, "Oh, I go for runs and I watch Have a Word and I do podcasts."
It's pretty much my life.
And then I need to watch more Have a Word. Then I'll go for a run. Then I'll do a podcast. That was pretty accurate, I thought. It was quite funny.
Yeah, it was quite funny. It was very accurate. I didn't do an impression of you though.
It's because I'm just God's gift.
Because you're perfect. Absolutely.
So I am. Right, I'm quite steaming now. So let's stop this.
Are we going to stop now? I was watching Christmas music videos the other night when you were night shift, and I noticed something on the.
I mean, I watch murder documentaries when you're night shift, but okay.
I was getting in a festive spirit, and I was watching the music video for Peace on Earth / Little Drummer Boy. And it's David Bowie and Bing Crosby. In the music video, Bing Crosby's wearing a Slazenger top.
Okay.
Like a Slazenger sweatshirt.
Right.
I just like how like he was just thinking of something to wear, and he just went to his sports direct or something and just grabbed.
I feel like that was a thing back. When was that out?
Well, when was Bowie a big thing? 70s, 80s, maybe early 80s?
I mean, there was a full thing about
People
like
say
just
that
people
we
just
should
cutting
be-
about
we-
tracksuits and that. Like,
I
I
can
don't think-
imagine Bing in a tracksuit.
and then you get like now you get like Harry Styles in a shiny catsuit.
Yeah.
It's all
People
Frozen.
like see David Bowie, right? People slag off like these days. People slag off Sam Smith for wearing ridiculous costumes. People forget that David Bowie ever existed.
aye,
If
like
you look
it's all
back at-
relevant.
If you look
isn't
back
it?
at his costumes, and he was like
Some things
outlandish
like
and
even like George Michael, like he doesn't wear particularly flamboyant clothes, but like
no,
my mum is in love with George Michael. Was in love with George Michael. I've been talking about a lot of dead people.
you know.
But yeah, I mean, like my mum's two favourite loves in the world, like, are Christmas and George Michael, and then our kids.
Yeah,
So like the fact that George Michael died on Christmas Day, and
which I keep reminding
you
her
are
of.
the one that broke the news to her actually on the,
Yep.
the day that happened, like
Yeah.
just basically like destroying
And
all
then,
her hopes and
like,
dreams.
the year after, I think she posted something about it was remember this happened. Then I just keep commenting on every single post. Remember he died. It just really pisses her off.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're
So
burning a lot of bridges with our parents.
so
Oh,
yeah, but even she, like, obviously George Michael was gay, and like she says, like, as a teenager she totally loved him, like, and he was
Yeah.
obviously all about like girls and that, like in his songs, and because it wasn't like
So
really
it's
his
had
thing.
it for ages, eh?
But even she's like, she looks back and she's like, how did I not know? Like just the stuff that he wears and stuff. Like not that I'm stereotyping,
Yeah.
like, but so I think that when you look back on stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, tracksuits makes
All
me think of
relative.
another Christmas present that I got. One morning I got two tracksuits, and I was old enough to know that I was, yeah, I don't want to, I mean, in case there's any children listening, I was old enough to know where the Christmas presents come
I
from.
mean, if children are listening to this,
Then we're in trouble.
yeah, then that's down to the parents. Really.
Quick side note, my gran was asking about how I listened to it, and I was like, please don't, let's just not do that.
Yeah, my manager at work's the same, and I'm like, don't
Just-
listen to this.
No, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got these two tracksuits, and I can't remember what one. I had two, and one of them, I liked them both, but I loved a particular one,
Uh-huh.
and it was blue and it had like white stripes, and it was kind of cotton. It wasn't like a chavvy looking one.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it, but it had like all this weird white kind of patchiness on it that shouldn't have been there, basically, on the trousers and on the zipper.
Mm-hmm.
So there was two, and I liked the other one, but I loved the blue one.
Yeah.
And my mum, like, I was like, can we get another one? And she wouldn't get me another one because she's like, it's obviously, she was like, oh, it's clearly a fault, like, with the product,
Yeah, yeah.
because they both, the top and the zipper had this like weird kind of white patch on it. It looked like somebody had spilled like flour or something on it. It was
Aye.
weird. And I remember like being like, please, can you just get me another one? Like, can you just change it? And she was like, oh no, I didn't want. I don't know if it was. I mean, we're running big on designer stuff like that. I don't know if it was expensive or I don't know.
No.
I just remember this blue and white and just being like, I really want it. It was so comfortable, like wearing it. Like I remember trying it on and thinking,
Yeah.
this is great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wear this at the time. And then she was like, oh, there's something wrong with it. And then it was because it was on both. She was like, nah, I'm not getting another one because it's maybe now that I look back, maybe there wasn't any in stock or like there was a reason why. But she was just saying that to me. But I was gutted because I was like, that was like I really wanted it.
Yeah.
Right.
You okay though?
I'm okay.
That's good. That's good. One last thing I wanted to say before we
It's
go.
almost been an hour.
I know it's almost, but this
Are
is
people gonna
definitely
listen
a
to
lot.
us for
I mean,
an hour?
again, we're not going to edit this episode because I can't be bothered.
And we're steaming, mate.
And we're steaming in this video as well. It's just too much to do, so we're just going to the wee bit where the video just goes like that at the start.
I
we're
like
just gonna,
that.
We're
That
going
was
to keep
fun.
that all in. The bit where your microphone cuts out a few times, we're just going to keep all that in. It's fine. It's going to work out fine. Fairy Tale in New York, right? We talked about
We're
this
back
last
to this
week.
again.
But I forgot to tell you the fact for all you fact fans out there about Fairy Tale in
This
New
is his
York.
favourite saying this year. Fun fact for all you fact fans.
And I'm just going to keep saying it. I think I stole it for somebody. Might have been Art and Deck. I can't remember. Fairy Tale in New York, right? So when Shane McGowan died, there was all these articles out about Fairy Tale in New York and the history and stuff. And I didn't realise, right, on the video, A Fairy Tale in New York, I don't know if you've watched it since I told you this.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
So we're going to watch it after this, I think.
Buzzed.
When they say...
Sorry.
Just to see the split second that this actually happens. When they sing the line, and the boys of the NYPD choir still singing Galway Bay, there's no such thing as the NYPD choir. Sorry to spoil that for you.
Spoiler.
But there was a NYPD pipe and drum band, who they asked to be in the video because it was filmed in New York. So they got the pipe band to line up, but you see the pipe band in the video, and they're singing, but they're not singing Galway Bay because none of the pipe band knew the song Galway Bay. So what they're actually singing in the video is the Mickey Mouse Club theme tune. What they're singing is MICKEYMOUSE.
Actual.
Yes.
For real.
For real. I mean, in the actual Fairy Tale New York video, you only see them singing for like a split second, but when you see the guy singing, when you see the guy mouthing words to something, he's not singing Galway Bay, he's singing MICKEYMOUSE.
Are you sure? Because have you not seen these like voiceover videos where like sport commentators and that, and it makes it look like that's what they're saying because that's like what your brain's telling you.
Bad lip reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
So you're sure it's definitely that they're singing?
Yes, because it's in a BBC article, and the BBC don't lie.
The BBC don't lie. Okay, and on that note,
it's nearly.
Let's call it that. Let's call it a Christmas episode.
So,
the BBC don't lie.
we're going to end it just now. Are we going to do an episode next week? I don't think we're going to have time next week to do an episode. So I think this might be the last episode of 2023. So. Yeah, we're not going to have time to do an episode next week.
A double episode.
I'm working and you're working, and it's just not going to work out. I might do a wee one by myself at some point, but who knows. But we just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody for your support this year. We only started the podcast in September. We've cracked 1,000 downloads, which I wanted to do. Again, cheers for that. We're back next year. Obviously, in terms of running and stuff, it will be more of a running podcast with some of the nonsense mixed in, obviously, but it'll be more based on running once we start in the new year.
Well, we've got a few of you that are doing the marathon, like friends of ours that you know, and someone that's coming up from England to do it, and someone else is a friend. So his wife, Michael, who's doing it, his wife, and Cara, who's doing it, her partner, and me, we don't run.
Yeah.
So we are buzzing for the marathon because we are going to be in the pub waiting for you. And how long does it take? Like 4 or 5 hours? 4
hours. Well, I'm aiming for 4.5 hours myself.
I mean, you've seen how quickly we've got drunk on 1 hour. So me, Rob, and Lynn, we're going to have a great time on the marathon. So I'll chat about that when we chat about.
That's fine.
Running and.
You can do a little podcast by yourself
while you're
waiting for me. People are asking as well about if I'm doing it for a charity. Yes, I am, but I'm undecided at the moment as to what charity I want to run for. I'm torn a little bit, but I will be revealing more in the new year as to what charity I'm running for.
What that means is he wants to change his mind, but he needs to see if he's allowed to first. Just be honest.
Yeah.
To be fair, the one you want to change to is more current to our lives at the moment.
Yeah.
And we have done fundraising a lot for the
fundraised for the one I was going to go for. We've already fundraised for that for the half marathon that I've done. So I'm thinking of doing it for another charity. And again, I'll talk more about that in the new year once I've made a decision. So thank you everyone for asking that. Please continue to follow the podcast. This is the first video podcast that we've done. I don't know how it's going to turn out. As I say, it's going to look really weird, especially when the camera goes like that, sort of 5 minutes in. But we're going to try and maybe do more. Depending how this goes, depending how the feedback goes, people might not like them. They might just prefer the audio ones.
This is what it does to me. Kids on that is like, just, oh, it's going to be casual, it's going to be occasional, and then it just goes like, oh, we're going to do this all the time.
Only if the people want it. If the people...
The people being me.
The people. If they can sign up to buymeacoffee.com/hitthewall, give us a wee bit of money, And if we make enough money, we might talk him into doing it.
I expect a massive coffee like this fella.
Right, we're going to wait, watch Fairy Tale New York. Thank you so much for listening and downloading the podcast. Very Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you have a great day.
Merry Christmas!
And a Happy New Year for you as well. See you in 2024.
Good night, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on when you're listening.
Bye.
Oh, it's 15 seconds before the end. For an
15
hour.
seconds. How does the theme tune go?